Hello fellow tankers, welcome to my new review of World of Tanks. Today we dive into the Grille 15. Some tanks are built to survive, others are built to brawl, but the Grille 15 was built to delete enemies before they even know where the shot came from. Even after years of updates, this German sniper still remains one of the most feared tank destroyers in World of Tanks. Massive alpha damage, laser accuracy, extreme mobility, but almost no armor at all. One mistake, and you're dead. One perfect shot, and the enemy disappears. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the legendary Grille 15. Is it still dangerous in today's meta? Or has power creep finally destroyed this sniper king? Let's find out. Alright commanders, listen carefully. The hunt for the secret codes from the quiz game is almost over, but now it becomes much harder. The last two numbers of the final code are hidden somewhere inside this video. When you are correct and watched all videos carefully, you will have 10-digit numbers. Once you have them, I'll reply to my mail YouTube channel to win 10,000 gold credits. May the fastest hunter win. And trust me, most players will miss them. But that's not all. The other two numbers can only be obtained directly from me inside the game. So if you think you found the video numbers, you'll still need to track me down on the battlefield. Only players with a full 12-digit code will have a chance to win the jackpot. So watch closely, pause if you need to, and good luck, commanders, because only the sharpest tankers will solve this challenge. So the Grille 15 is not a frontline tank, and if you try to play it like one, you're going back to the garage very fast. This tank is a pure sniper, a glass cannon, a precision execution machine. The entire design philosophy of the Grille 15 is simple. Hit hard, stay hidden, relocate, repeat, and when played correctly, this thing becomes an absolute nightmare for the enemy team. The Grille is one of those tanks that rewards intelligence, patience, map awareness, and positioning, because unlike heavy tanks, you cannot rely on armor to save you. The Grille 15 survives by never getting hit in the first place. Now, let's talk about the main reason why players love this tank. That incredible 15-centimeter cannon. This gun hits for around 750 alpha damage per shot, and at tier 10, that is devastating. One penetrating hit against medium tanks can instantly remove half their health. And against damaged enemies, you become an executioner. But alpha damage alone is not what makes the Grille terrifying. It's the accuracy. This thing is basically a railgun, with 0.25 dispersion. The Grille 15 has some of the best accuracy in the entire game. This allows you to hit weak spots at insane distances. Cupolas, lower plates, tiny exposed angles. The Grille can punish all of them. And then comes the aiming time. Just over 1 second. That is ridiculous for a tank destroyer carrying a gun this massive. You aim quickly. You fire quickly. And before the enemy even reacts, you already disappear back into concealment. The penetration values are also extremely reliable. With over 280 millimeters of penetration, the Grille can handle almost every tank it faces. Heavy tanks, hull-down monsters, armored tank destroyers. Very few targets are safe, and because the gun is so accurate, you don't waste many shells. Every shot feels calculated. Every shell feels dangerous. The damage per minute is not the highest among tier 10 destroyers. But the Grille compensates with precision. This is not a spam cannon. This is a surgical weapon. You wait, you aim, and then you punish mistakes brutally. One of the deadliest things about the Grille 15 is its camouflage. For such a massive vehicle, the concealment is surprisingly strong, and when combined with bushes, you can become almost invisible. This is where experienced Grille players become truly dangerous. They know exactly how spotting mechanics work. They know how to double bush. They know when to fire. And most importantly, they know when to disappear. Because staying visible in the Grille is usually a death sentence. You constantly need to think ahead. Where is my escape route? What happens if I get spotted? How many enemies can shoot me? This tank forces you to think differently. And honestly, that's one of the reasons why it feels so rewarding to master. Now, here's the part that surprises many players. The Grille 15 is fast, very fast. This tank destroyer moves more like a medium tank, with excellent horsepower, great acceleration, and high top speed. The Grille can reposition incredibly quickly, and this changes everything, because most tank destroyers are static. They sit in one place, they camp, they struggle to relocate, but not the Grille. If one flank collapses, you can escape. If another flank needs support, you can rotate. If enemies are distracted, you can create crossfires. And in late game situations, this mobility becomes absolutely terrifying. A Grille 15 with map control is one of the deadliest tanks in World of Tanks. But now, we need to talk about the problem. The armor, or more accurately, the lack of armor. The Grille 15 is made out of paper. Everything penetrates you. Heavy tanks, mediums, artillery, high explosive shells, auto-loaders, even some HE rounds can completely ruin your game. And this means mistakes are punished hard. One bad peek, one greedy shot, one wrong position, and you explode. This is not a forgiving tank, and honestly, that's why many players fail with it. The Grille requires discipline. You cannot get emotional. You cannot overpush. You cannot panic, because this tank rewards calm decision-making. In the early game, your job is simple. Support your team from distance. You want early damage, safe shots, and information. You should never rush aggressive positions immediately. The Grille performs best when enemies are still moving into position. That's when players make mistakes. That's when they expose size. That's when your gun becomes devastating. Good Grille players understand timing. They know when to stay patient. And patience wins games with this tank. Mid-game is where the Grille starts becoming truly dangerous. Why? Because now tanks are damaged, positions are weakened, flanks start collapsing, and suddenly, your mobility becomes a massive advantage. This is where you relocate. This is where you create crossfires. This is where you isolate enemies. And because your gun hits so hard, every shot becomes more impactful. One shell can completely change a fight. One shell can stop a push. One shell can save your teammates. But the late game, that is where the Grille becomes terrifying. Because now vision control matters more. Mobility matters more. Accuracy matters more. And suddenly, the Grille has everything it needs. You become a hunter. You control distance. You choose engagements. You punish isolated enemies. And experienced players can pull off insane clutch situations. 1 versus 2, 1 versus 3, sometimes even more. Not because of armor, but because of positioning and precision. In modern World of Tanks, many old tanks became outdated. Power creep changed the game. New armor, more auto-loaders, stronger premium tanks. But somehow, the Grille 15 still feels unique, because no other tank combines this level of mobility, this level of alpha, and this level of accuracy in quite the same way. The Grille rewards skill, and when a skilled player controls this machine, you can feel the pressure instantly. You know one mistake means losing half your health. You know every open crossing is dangerous. And that psychological pressure is something statistics cannot measure. So, is the Grille 15 still worth playing? Absolutely, but only if you understand what this tank truly is. This is not a beginner tank. This is not a brawler. This is not a forgiving vehicle. The Grille 15 is a precision weapon, a sniper, a hunter, a machine that rewards patience, intelligence, and positioning. In the wrong hands, it's free damage, but in the right hands, it becomes one of the most terrifying tank destroyers in the game. And honestly, that is exactly why the Grille 15 remains a legend. Many players thought the Hirschkäfer would replace the Grille 15, but something unexpected happened. Veteran players kept going back to the Grille, and honestly, it's easy to understand why. The Grille 15 feels fast. It feels accurate. It feels dangerous, with insane sniper precision, massive alpha damage, and medium tank mobility. The Grille can still completely control open maps. Yes, the Hirschkäfer has stronger armor, and yes, it survives longer in some situations. But the Grille 15 gives players something different. Freedom. You can relocate faster. You can create crossfires. You can punish enemies before they even react. And most importantly, the gun feels incredible. One perfect Grille shot still feels more satisfying than almost anything else in World of Tanks. And that is exactly why so many players still choose the Grille 15. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to subscribe for more World of Tanks content. And tell me in the comments, do you still fear the Grille 15? Or do you think newer tanks finally replaced it? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the battlefield. Alright, commanders, if you made it this far, then you survived the entire challenge. The hidden numbers inside this video were not easy to find, and honestly, most players probably missed at least one of them. But now, the final part begins. If you discovered the last 2 hidden numbers, you are only halfway there, because the other 2 numbers can only be obtained directly from me inside the game. So yes, you'll need to hunt me down. You'll need to message me personally. And only players with the complete 12-digit code can enter the final jackpot challenge. Once you have all 12 numbers, send the complete code to the channel email. And if your code is correct, you could become the winner of the reward. But remember, only the fastest, the smartest, and the most observant commanders will solve everything. So check the video again. Watch every scene carefully, because the hidden numbers are there. And trust me, one tiny detail changes everything. Good luck, commanders, and I'll see you on the battlefield. Hellfish out.